So let us start with today's class. So I have shared my screen already. Hope you will been able to save it. And if anybody is having any issues in watching the screen, just let me know. So today we are going to discuss about database recovery. So what exactly is a recovery process and why we will be requiring it? So whenever you use the original data, you would be doing the recoveries with the help of the backup. Yesterday we were talking about what type of backups we have. So we saw what is a full backup and what is hard backup and what are the disadvantages. So we understood all these things. So whenever you lost a data file or you lost a redo of file or control file, basically to recover those files, you will be using the backup which we have. So when comes to recovery portion, usually recovery will be divided into two types. One we call it as complete recovery and the second one we call it as incomplete recovery. So when you look at what is meant by complete recovery, suppose your database was, suppose one database got, one data file got deleted at 8 o'clock, let's say, and that you can recover your database till 8 o'clock again with the help of the backup and RPO logs. Then we call it as complete recovery. That means not even a single second of data loss will be there. But when it comes to incomplete recovery, suppose you lost your data file at 8 o'clock and due to some reason you can't able to recover till 8 o'clock but you recover till 7:59. So that means it is an incomplete recovery and you have 1 minute data loss occurring. So that is basically the categorization. So even the same we can read in the first point here. So complete recovery means recovering the database to the point of failure and reducing data loss. Whereas incomplete recovery means recovering to a certain point of time or SCA number and it has some data loss. And point number 2 says we will perform complete recovery only if we lost data files, and we will perform incomplete recovery if we lost either redo log files, control files or RPO log files. So in your database, if you lost only data files, one data file, two data files or multiple data files, then always we will be having the chance to recover completely. But when you lost the redo log group or when you lost all the multiplexer copies of control files or when you lost any one of the RPO log files, then it is not possible to perform complete recovery. Compulsory you need to go for incomplete recovery. And again here it says incomplete recovery is possible in three modes. One is until SCN. Suppose if I want to recover to a particular SCN number, then I can use this option. But for that we need to know what is that SCN number. And usually we don't record the SCN numbers immediately. That is the reason using this option until SCN during incomplete recovery is a very rare case. And the second one we have is until cancel, and that means till whatever be the time that you can recover the database, it will be recovered till that time. For example, if you can recover the database till 7 o'clock, so the database will be recovered till 7 o'clock and from there onwards the recovery will be cancelled. And this is the option which we usually use in real time. And the last one is until time. So if at all you want to recover to a particular point of time, then you will be using this option. Later we will see an example when we will be using until time, or I mean in what situations we use until time, we will be seeing about it. So those are the three modes that we have in incomplete recovery. And basically what you mean by recovery and what are the phases or steps involved in recovery. So as I said, when you lost one data file or any other file, basically you are going to do the recovery with the help of backup. So whenever you have a backup and you lost one file, first step that you will perform is in the backup whatever the file is there, you are going to restore that file into the original location. So, for example, let's say one data file is missing or one data file got corrupted, then what we do is first we are going to restore the data file from the backup location, and after you copy the backup file, then you would be applying the archaeologs in order to make the two come to the latest time. For example, let us take a situation that yesterday night 10 o'clock I have a backup. Let's assume it is a hot backup, and today morning at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock one of the data file got corrupted or one of the data file was missing due to some reason. So in that case, the first step what you need to do, you need to restore the data file which you have taken backup yesterday night 10 o'clock. But the moment you restore the file from yesterday night 10 o'clock backup, after that, I mean after 10 o'clock till today morning 8 o'clock, whatever the data is there, this 10 hours data will not be there in the backup file. So what we would be doing is, this 10 hours data will be recorded in the form of video entries in archaeologs. So after we restore the data file from yesterday night backup, we will be applying the archaeologs and then the recent video logs in order to make that data to come at the block level. So I mean this is the situation when you go for complete recovery. So basically recovery is a two-step process. One is a restore. You can see in the fifth point on the screen. It says copying the file from the backup location to the original location because the file is not available now. And the recovery means applying the redo logs and applying the archaeologs and the redo logs in order to bring the file HCN in par with the latest version. So normally what happens is whenever you take the backup, those files will be having lower SCN and the recent files will be having higher SCN on this. So what is our task in doing the recovery or in applying this archaeologs and redo logs is, we are going to um, apply the archaeologs first so that the SCN number will be implemented, and then we will be applying the redo logs, and then you will be making the SCN impar or incompatible with the latest SCN. So when your data file SCN comes down to the latest SCN level, that means you have performed a complete recovery in the database. Uh, Others also facing the same issue. The funny is saying that voice is not coming. I'm not sure because I'm using the same thing over here. So now also is it fine, or now also is the same issue? Okay, fine. So that is about the restore and recover steps. So anybody is having any queries before we proceed further? Okay, so until cancel, okay, anyway we will be seeing that practically. So during that time I will be explaining once again about until cancel. Okay, so let us proceed further. But there is one important note here that we need to understand. So it says practically we can do complete recovery even though if we lost all the control files. So that is what it says. So normally when you refer to Oracle books or many websites, they say that you know when you lost all the control files, you cannot do complete recovery and compulsory you need to go for incomplete recovery. But practically even complete recovery is also possible. How and all we will see that gradually. So initially in the class notes I have given the steps on how to recover the data file in no archive log mode database, then redo log file, then control file. So the first three steps are for recovering something when the database is in no archive log mode. Basically, when the database is in no archive log mode, then it is not possible for you to recover the data completely. Or what I mean to say is complete recovery is not possible if the archive log mode is not enabled. Because as you can see in the recover process here in step 5b, it clearly says recover is nothing but applying the archive logs and redo logs. Now when you don't have archive log mode enabled, then from where we will be bringing the archive logs? So it is not possible. So that's the reason in the first three situations the only possible way is incomplete recovery. So if you go through the steps here, suppose you lost one data file in no archive log mode database, what is possible is you need to shut down the database, then you need to copy the data files from the backup location to original location first, then you would be copying similarly control files and redo log files, and finally you are saying startup. That means you are not performing any recovery over here. Similarly, when you go for redo log file recovery and control file recovery also, the same things will happen. So let us start with the next one, steps for recovering a table space. And from this heading onwards, everything is in archive log mode. So I'm just taking the same over here. So you can see archive log mode is enabled here. First, let me take a hot backup, then we will proceed with the recovery part. So I am copying the files. Okay. Okay, then I say alter database and backup. Then I am copying the control files. Okay, no issues. So then I say I am copying archives. Then I am copying SP file or P file, whatever it is. Okay. And then finally we have one command. So from yesterday also we saw that. So I will be explaining about this command at later point of time. So this is how we completed hot backup. And let's say after hot backup, some users got connected and they are doing some transactions. So for that I am just generating some tables. So table got created, and I'm just trying to generate some archeolog files. That's it. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So let's assume after taking the backup, assume this backup I have taken yesterday night, and today morning, from yesterday night to today morning, some transactions have been performed, and now all of a sudden, due to some, let's say by mistakenly, this data file got removed at OS level. So I am manually removing it because in our practice it won't happen automatically. So now what are the steps we need to perform in order to recover this particular data file? So let's go and see that. So the first step here is you need to make the table space offline. So that is the very first step that we need to follow. For that we are going to say alter table space name offline command. And next one, you are going to copy the data file from the backup location to the original location. So here my backup location is this one, and file name is users01.dbf, and now I am copying that from backup location, you can see here, to the original location with the same name. So once it is done, next step we are going to execute a command recover table space name. So this will actually ask you to apply the archive logs and redo logs. You can see here. So when I say recover table space name, you can see it is asking to apply this particular archive, 8th archive. So what we can do here is we can just copy and paste here, So when we do copy and paste, it will ask you for the next archive, that is 9th archive. When you again copy and paste, it may ask you for 10th archive, 11th archive, like this. If you have 100 archives, you cannot do copy paste and all. So for that reason, Oracle has given you one option, that is auto. So if you simply say auto, then automatically one by one all the archives will be applied, and along with that even redo logs also will be applied, and finally the recovery will be completed. So this is one flexibility that Oracle gives us. Instead of giving archive file names one by one, we can simply give auto option. So you can see here what happened after I give auto option. Automatically it applied 10th file, 11th file, then 12, 13, 14, and finally it applied redo log files also, and it said media recovery got completed. So now now the recovery was done. So I need to make the table space online. For that we are going to execute this command, alter table space name online. So here whatever the file we lost, with the same data we can able to recover it, and that is the reason we call this as complete recovery. So that is what even from the second point we understood. Whenever you lost only data files, then there is always a chance that you can go and do complete recovery. And this is one example that we are doing it. So anyone is having any queries? Yeah, so fine. Whenever if redo laws got corrupted before we apply them, then obviously we can't perform complete recovery. Then we need to stop it in complete recovery itself. That means there will be some data loss. So is that clear, Fanny? Okay. So that is how we are going to do the complete recovery, and then you have steps for recovering a single data file. So now here we have seen a situation where one tablespace is having only one data file. But usually when you go to real time, you may observe that one tablespace is having multiple data files. So suppose there is a tablespace with 10 data files, and out of 10 data files only one data file is missing or got corrupted. So because only one file got corrupted or missing, it is unnecessary to make entire tablespace offline, because the moment you make entire tablespace offline, the rest of the 9 files which are very much fine, even those files also will be unnecessarily disturbed. So that is the reason Oracle gives you the flexibility that you can able to recover only one data file at a time. So for that basically you are using these steps. Almost everything is same, the only difference is these commands. Earlier you said alter tablespace name offline, but now you are saying alter database data file offline. So you are giving only that particular data file name and you are bringing it offline. Then second step you are going to copy it from backup location, and third step you are using the command recover data file, then data file location, and finally you are making alter that particular data file online. So these are the steps that you would be performing for a single data file. And when you go for recovering a system table space, you know already that you cannot bring system table space offline. It is not possible, or Oracle will not allow you to do that. So that is the reason, if at all you want to recover a system table space, compulsory first you need to shut down the database, then you need to copy from the backup location, then you need to place the database in mount state, then you need to run this command recover table space, and finally you need to open it. For example, let us see it here. So I removed system table space, sorry, system data file, and if I say alter table space system offline, it will not agree that, because you know it already, system table space cannot be cannot be taken offline. So first you need to shut down your database. So second step, we are going to copy it from backup location. So then we say startup mount, then recover table space system. So when you run that command, similar to earlier, it will ask you to apply all the archives. Again, we can give auto option. So it is going to apply one by one all the archives, and then it will apply the redo log files also. And finally, you will be using alter database open. So this will do the recovery of your system table space. Okay, we have a question here. Okay. Unfortunately, funny, we don't have any way to remember these things. That will come only by practice. But one thing I can say is, whenever you want to change any parameter value, for example, you want to change the shade pool size, or you want to change your SGA size, or whatever be the case. So if you want to change any parameter value, then you would be using the command starting with alter system set, then your parameter name, then value, then depends on whether you are using SP file or whatever, you will be using different scopes here. So that means whenever you want to change any parameter value, the command will start with alter system set. But alter database or alter table space and all, it comes only with practice. And you need to remember when to use which command. So is that clear, Funny? So any other questions from anyone before we proceed further? Yeah, basically placing in mount state will come only when you do something at system table space level. For example, till now, if you look at the scenarios when we will place in mount state is, whenever you want to turn on archeolog mode or you want to enable archeolog mode, in that case we need to place in mount state. And apart from that, I think till now we have not seen any situation especially. Okay, fine. So how we would be knowing whether only one data file is lost or whether some multiple files are lost and all. So basically, whenever you lost one file, there will be a view which will give you that information. So you can read the sixth point here. It says whenever any file is missing at OS level, we can able to get that information either from the alert log file or using a view called $recover underscore file. For example, just give me a moment. So we remove this file and we have a view called recover underscore file. So now if you say select star from $recover underscore file, so still this information need to be taken by this view. That's the reason it is showing no row selected. So if you wait for a few minutes or few seconds, then you would be observing that Oracle will register this information. So basically you can use this view or you can even use alert log also. So I hope that answers your question, Samir. So any other queries? Okay, so let us proceed for the next one. That is steps for recovering the database when we lost more than 50% of the data files. So now when you lost more than 50% of data files, it is unnecessary to make your database up and running. So because half of the database is anyway not available. So that is the reason we are going to shut down the database first. Then we will be copying all the data files from the backup location. And again, if you ask how I would be knowing what are all the files missing, then you will be using the same view here. $recover underscore file is going to tell you about that info, like which data files are lost. And based on that, you are going to copy the files from the backup location in the second step. And then you are going to place the database in mount state. Then you would be issuing a command recover database. And finally, so when you run this recover database command, it will ask you to give auto option or archeolog names and all. If you use auto option, it will recover everything. And finally, you can open the database. And there is a note here. So this note says we can drop a single data file using below command. So the command is alter database data file, the location, and then offline drop. But there is a there is a problem when using this command. The problem is, you can read the description here. Whenever we use the above command, it is going to delete the file at OS level, but at Oracle level or the data dictionary or the base tables are still not yet updated. So that means when you run this offline drop command, what happens is at OS level file will be deleted, but your base tables will not get updated. Now, because your base tables are not get updated, Oracle will still be in a feeling that the file is still available in my database. Frankly, file is not there at OS level, but Oracle still feels that the file is available, at the OS level. And the problem is, because Oracle still assumes that the file is available, we cannot exactly recover that particular data file. And that is the reason we should never use this command in real time. So this note was especially given to alert you, just to make sure, or sorry, to alert you that you will not use this particular command anywhere in real time. So that is all about the things we have. Now let us go and look into a situation where you can recover a data file without taking a backup. So till now whatever we saw is by taking the backup how you recovered it, but now we are going to look at a different situation without taking a backup. But for that, let me recover this table space first. So what I am doing here is I am adding one data file to this table space users by saying users02.dbf and with some size. Then for example I am creating one user. So I just created one user. I have granted connect and resource roles. Then I have granted unlimited quota on this table space. Now I am creating one table in for that user. So now what happens is the data will be even going into this particular data file also. Because we already know that whenever one table space is having two data files, Oracle is going to allocate the extents in a round robin fashion. That means both the data files will be used at the same time. So what happens now is, because I am creating some tables over here, so these tables will go and reside into this data file also. Now what I do is, I will remove the data file at OS level, and for this data file I don't have any backup, because in my the backup which I have taken is assuming yesterday night, and today morning I added this data file. So usually the backup will be taken again today night, but well before that the file which I added today morning, that file got deleted now, and how we will be recovering it. So that is what here it says, steps to recover a data file without taking a backup. So in this situation also, first you are going to make that table space offline, and now actually after making the table space offline we need to restore it from backup location, but we don't have any backup for this file. So that is the reason we are using some other command, and we say alter database, create data file. So we need to give the same location twice. So what this command will do, this command is going to create one new file at OS level. So now we will be using this command, recover table space name. Then it will ask for the archives and say auto option. Then it is going to apply on all the archive logs, and finally it will make the recovery possible. And now you can say alter table space name online. And now if you look at the file at OS level, you can see the file is back at OS level. Excuse me. So this is how you are going to basically recover even you don't have a backup. But there is a note, very important note, which says all the archive logs that are generated from the date of data file creation should be available in order to do this activity. So that means if you created the data file at 10 o'clock, from 10 o'clock till the time you lost the file, so till that time all the archives which are generated, so all those archives should be available, otherwise it is not possible to recover it completely. So that is all about how we are going to recover it without a backup also. And there is a question. Yes, whenever the file got removed at OS level, definitely error will be recorded in alert log. May not be immediately. That means if the file is removed at OS level at 10 o'clock, immediately at 10 o'clock itself Oracle may not record that information. It may take 1 or 2 minutes, and then it will record that information in alert log. So anyone is having any queries before we proceed further? Okay. Now let us see where my alert log is there. I'm not sure whether the error is written there or not. Let's check out. Okay, so in alert log we don't have any information written. Basically the reason is I have recovered the database well before the checkpoint event occurs. So what happens is, for example, at 10 o'clock the file was removed at OS level, and assume at 10 o'clock 5 minutes checkpoint will occur. If you recover your database within this 5 minutes, then Oracle will not record that information into alert log file. So that's the reason here also in our case we didn't saw any error in alert log. But usually if you wait till the checkpoint event occurs, then it is going to write that info into alert log. And coming to creating the data file. Okay, so this command is basically to create a fresh data file. So what we are doing here is we are saying alter database create data file, and we are giving the location and the file name as so and so. That means we are asking Oracle to take this as the reference, and we are asking to create the same file here. So that is what basically this create data file syntax is going to do. Any more queries? Okay, so let us proceed for the next one. So that is steps to recover the redo log file in archaeolog mode. So as we discussed earlier, if you lost the redo log files or control files or archaeolog files, you need to go for incomplete recovery. So complete recovery is not possible. You need to go for incomplete recovery. So let us go and see those things. And one more thing here is, so here you can see there are 3 groups, and in each group there is only one redo log file, and we already know about what is meant by multiplexing and all. Suppose uh, assume that multiplexing is available in your database, and that means one group will be having 2 files. You already know that. So in a group, if one file is lost and other file is still available, then there will be no there will be no impact on the database. For example, I have assumed in group 1 I have 2 files, redo01a.log and redo01b.log. And suppose redo01a.log is missing from the OS level, but still no impact will be there in the database. Why? Because redo01b.log will be there at OS level, still it will support the database, because redo01b and redo01a are multiplexed copies to each other. So that means whenever you lost one multiplexed copy, there will be no impact on the database. Only when you lost entire group, means all the multiplexed copies, then only the impact will be there on the database, or then only you need to perform incomplete recovery in the database. So is this point clear with everyone? Okay. So let us go and look into. So here if you look at group 2 is current. Now what I will do is I will remove this file at OS level with the help of rm-rf command. So current means you already know that log writer is currently writing into that file, and the moment you remove this file at OS level, log writer will not be able to write that information, and immediately it will log or it will write an error into alert log file. So what we need to do now is we need to recover the database. Now to recover the database, normally what we are doing till now is we are making table space or data file offline, then we are restoring it from the backup. But in case of redo log files, restoring it from the backup will not be possible. Why? Because you already know that in hot backup we will never take the backup of redo log files. So that means in your backup location there is no backup for redo log files. Now if there is no backup for redo log files, how we are going to recover it? It is not possible to recover. It is only possible that you can create a fresh redo log files. And when you create the fresh redo log files, whatever the data that is existing in the current redo log files will not come, and that is the reason we call this as incomplete recovery, and we say there is a data loss here. So the steps that we will be performing is, first we need to shut down the database, and sometimes shut immediate is not working. You can use shut abort also. So database got shut down, and the current time is 21 hours 15 minutes. Maybe 1 minute back I removed this redo log file. So what we can do next is we are going to place the database in mount state. And for example, if you try to open the database, it will throw an error saying that the file is missing. So what you need to do is you need to say recover database, and because this is incomplete recovery, and in incomplete recovery we already saw three different options are available. One is until SCN, and second one is until cancel, and third one is until time. So when to use until SCN? If you know that I want to recover to a particular SCN in the past, then you can make use of until SCN. But as I said, in real time we will not keep track of what is the SCN number. So that is the reason we don't use that option in real time. And when it comes to until time option will be used only in specific situations. We will see an example for that at later point of time. And the third option that we have is until cancel. So what is meant by until cancel is to whatever the point Oracle can recover the database, Oracle will go and recover till that point of time, and beyond that point, if Oracle could not able to recover it, the recovery will stop over there. That is mean by until cancel. So that means you are asking Oracle to recover the database till whatever the level that it is possible, and beyond that point, if recovery is not possible, you are asking Oracle to cancel the recovery there. So that is the reason you are using cancel option here. So earlier somebody asked about this. Is this point clear for them now? Okay. So that is how you are going to use recover database until cancel. And now you need to open the database. But while opening the database, you would be using an option called reset logs. Now why to use this option reset logs? If you look at the file, still the file is not available at OS level. It still says no such file or directory. And now if you open the database with reset logs option, see what happens. So once you open the database with reset logs option, Now you can see the file got created at OS level. So that is what I said, whenever you lost the redo log files, it is not possible to restore from backup because we never take the backup of redo log files in hot backup, and the only option that is available for us is to create fresh redo log files. So which command will create that fresh redo log files is this reset logs command. And apart from that, it is also going to do one more action. So let us go and see the theoretical points here, then we will come back once again. So the same steps we followed here: shutdown immediate, then placed in mount state, then we used until cancel, and finally we open the database with reset logs. And read the first 2 points, which says when we use reset logs option, the database will be open, and the first point says it is going to create the new redo log files at OS level. For that, the location and the size it is going to take from control file, and not only that, it is going to reset the log sequence number for the created files. So that means earlier, if you look at the archives sequence number is 20. So you can see it started with 1, 2, 3. So like that it proceeded with 23. And now after once the once you open the database with reset logs option, again this 23 number will be again going back to number 1. So that is where you can see here I am just performing a log switch. And now if you see here, you can see again it started with 1. So this is what will happen when you use reset logs option. So not only the new redo log files will be created, but along with that, the log sequence number also will be reset again back to 1, 2, 3, etc. And even the last number which is constant earlier, even that number also changed here. You can see here. So earlier it is 82329341, but now it is a different number. So this is what will happen, and this number, whatever the third column that I am highlighting, so that we generally call it as incarnation number. So whenever you open the database with the reset logs option, this incarnation number will change, or we say that the database has entered into a new incarnation. So new incarnation is nothing but next life or new life we say. So there is one disadvantage when we have this change in the incarnation number. So let's read this 3 and 4 points. So third point says, whenever the database is opened with reset logs option, we will say that the database is entered into new incarnation, that means new life. And if the database is in new incarnation, the backups which were taken till now and also the archive logs which were generated till now are no more useful. So whenever we perform an incomplete recovery, we need to take the full backup of the database immediately. So it's just like the same. For example, when we take a new life, it's general common that we don't remember what happened in the past. For example, right now I don't know what is my past, or you people don't know what is your past, or in your past life what you have done, you don't know it, or you don't remember it, I say. So even we don't remember it. So that's the nature tendency how it was formed. In the same way, when the database was moving from one life to another life, then it will generally forget about everything what happened with the previous life. So that's the reason when database has entered into new incarnation, whatever the backups you have taken till now and what are the archive logs that are generated till now, all those will become invalid, or all those are not useful anymore. That means all these 23 archives which are generated earlier, these 23 archives are no more useful now. And even the hot backup which we have taken while beginning of the class, even that hot backup is no more useful now. So because the database was entered into new incarnation, now you need to take your hot backup again freshly, and even archive logs also will be created freshly with the help of new sequence number like 1, 2, 3, etc. So this is what basically the very important point that we need to remember. And if at all you want to find out at what time the reset logs option was used to open the database and all, there is a view or there is a select query. So it says select reset logs change number, then reset logs style from $, database. So this particular query will tell you at what time on which date you have performed the reset logs on the database. So anybody is having any queries over here regarding this reset logs option? So let's go and see the next one, that is steps to recover control file in archeolog mode. So as I said earlier, if you lost control files, so many Oracle books says the only possible recovery is incomplete recovery, but practically even if you lost control files, you can do complete recovery also. So first I have given steps on how to do complete recovery. So what you are going to do is, first you are going to shut down the database, then you are going to copy it from backup location, because in hot backup we take the backup of control files, and then we are going to place it in mount state, and then we are using a command recover database using backup control file until cancel. So that is the syntax of the command that we need to follow. And because this is incomplete recovery, you are opening the database with reset logs option. So do remember, whenever you perform incomplete recovery, always you need to open the database with reset logs option. So that is what 4 or 5 steps that we have with incomplete recovery. But normally if complete recovery is possible, always we need to prefer to use complete recovery only. Why? Because in complete recovery there will be no data loss. So that is the reason in real time, even though you lost the control files, you will be performing complete recovery only instead of incomplete recovery. And how we are going to perform that, let us have a look. So first we have taken, I have taken control file information, and I am removing all the control files here. I just said start.ctl. So all the control files got removed. So after you do, if all the control files are lost, then you need to run one command, alter database backup control file to trace. So you need to run this command. Now there is one important description mentioned here, so you can read here, which says the above command may not work sometimes, in which case you need to use the script, or you need to use the one which you have already generated during backup. That means in our case it has clearly given the database altered, but sometimes what happens is, even if you run this command, it throws an error saying that control file is not available or something like that. In such situations, what we need to do is, if you remember, during taking backup also we are executing this command as the last step. So whatever the one which we used in the backup, we need to take that particular script and then we need to create new control files. So basically what this script is going to do, you can read the description here. This command will generate a create control file script in udump location in the form of a trace file. So basically this particular command, alter database backup control file to trace, it is going to generate one create control file script in the udump location. So after we execute this first command, as a second step we are going to shut down the database. So let me shut down the database first. And here also, if sometimes shutdown immediate is not working, then you can make use of shut abort. So then we need to go to udump location and we need to copy the first create control file script to any other file. So let me go to udump location. So in after you move to udump location, you need to say ls-ltr and you would be having a trace file at the last. So when you open this trace file and when you scroll down, you would be seeing a create control file script here. So you can see here, this is your create control file script. Now what happens is, in the same trace file, this create control file script will appear 2 times. For example, this is one time it appeared, and if you still scroll down, you will see this command once again, or you will see this script once again. Now the difference is, the first script will use no reset logs and the second script will use reset logs. So you can see second time it is using reset logs option, and first time it won't use reset logs option, it will say no reset logs. And you know already when you use reset logs option, that is nothing but incomplete recovery, but what we are interested here is complete recovery. So that is the reason we need to copy this particular script. So we need to copy the script which says no reset logs, and we need to paste this script into some other file. For example, you can take any file. I am taking one file with the name of control.sql, and in that I need to paste whatever I have copied, and then I need to save this. So once I copy and I save, then as a next step you are going to connect to the database and you are going to place it in no mount state, and then you are going to execute this particular script control.sql. So if your control.sql script is there in a different location, then you need to give complete location like this. So in my case, I am there in present working directory. So that's the reason I can simply say at the rate of that script name. So what it is going to do, it is going to create new control files, and the next step you are going to open the database. And because this is complete recovery, while opening the database you don't require to use reset logs option. And when you look at OS level, you will be observing that all the control files will be back. So you can see all your control files are back. So this is how you are going to do the complete recovery of the data files, control files. So anybody is having queries? So there is a note here. So this note says, whenever you create new control files with the above procedure, then there will be no SCN in that. Usually you know that control file will have the latest SCN, but the moment you create new control files, there will be no SCN in that. So what server process will do is, server process will take the authority and it will write the latest SCN to these control files. And from where server process is going to get that latest SCN information, it is going to get that from data file header itself. So this is how we are going to do complete recovery. Then if you remember, we have third option in incomplete recovery, that is until time. So suppose I want to recover my database till yesterday 10 o'clock, then I would be using this option until time and I will be recovering the database. That means whatever the data that was inserted or modified from yesterday 10 o'clock till today morning, so that complete data will be lost. So in which situations usually we go by it? For example, let's assume at 9 o'clock one application user dropped one important table. By mistakenly, one application developer at 9 o'clock dropped one table, and he, the developer tried something to retrieve the table, but it didn't work. So finally, let's say at 9:20, that application developer informed DBA, and that the developer is asking now to recover the table. So the table is dropped at 9 o'clock, but till 9:20 DBA was not informed, and DBA was informed at 9:20, and now the developer is asking to retrieve the table back. So usually this is not possible. One way that you can do is, if at all you have an export of that particular table, then you can do an import. That is one way that we have. But let's assume export is not there, export dump file is not there. Then what is the other option available is, because you cannot because you cannot get the table at 9:20, you would be moving your database back from 9:20 to 9 o'clock or 8:59, let's say. So from 9:20 you are going to push back your database to somewhere around 8 o'clock 59 minutes or something like that. So during the time the table is available, so by that you can able to retrieve the table back. But the problem here is, if you go back or if you move back your database till 8:59, from 8:59 till 9:20, whatever the data was modified or updated, deleted, inserted, so that complete data will be lost. So that means whenever you perform until time, then also there is a chance of data loss because it is incomplete recovery. So usually in those situations we go by using until time option. And as I said, in real time, out of until SCN, until cancel and until time, always until cancel will be preferred to use. So that is how we will be having until time option. And then you have steps on how to do SP file or P file recovery in both 10G and 11G. So in 11G we have the advantage that even if you lost P file or SP file, you can run simply these two commands: create P file from memory and or create SP file from memory. But in 10G the things are little bit different. For example, let's say this file is not there at OS level. I remove this file. So now how we will be recovering this file? So what we need to do is, we need to go to alert log file, and in alert log file all the non-default parameters will be listed. For example, let me show you here. So these are all the non-default parameters. So you have a list here. So what you need to do is, you need to copy all this into a particular file. For example, I say tail-100 not log file. So I'm just tailing it. Okay, may not be sufficient. So what we will be doing is copy all these parameters which are listed in alert log into a new file, and that new file we need to create in DBS location and with the file name of P file. So how your P file naming convention will be there. With that name you need to create one empty file, and into this file you need to just paste all those parameters which you copied from alert log, and then you need to save this file, and that means your P file is ready now. And whenever your P file is ready, you know how to create SP file from that. You need to simply say create SP file from P file. Okay, so it says it cannot create a P file because already it is running. So what you can do is you can shut down the database, create SP file, and then start up the database. So basically when you lost SP file or P file, this is what you are going to do. First step, you are going to copy all the non-default parameters that are listed in the alert log file to a new text file, and name that file as init.sid.ora and place that file in Oracle home/dbs location. But this problem was resolved in 11G, and you can use simple commands, create P file from memory or create SP file from memory. So that is how you are having the recovery portion. And when you look at this table is going to explain you what are all the different backup types that we have and what is the advantage of each backup type and disadvantage. So if you look at cold backup, the advantage of cold backup is it is consistent backup, and the disadvantage is to take cold backup you need to shut down the database. And when you go for hot backup, the advantage is you don't require any downtime, but the disadvantage is inconsistency and also more redo will be generated. Yesterday we saw that. And when you go for export, actually export is not a backup. That's the reason we say it as logical backup. So with the help of export, restoring or recovering a single table is possible. But if at all you lost data file or you lost redo log files or control files, then using this export backup it is not possible to recover. So that means if you look at the backup types or backup modes, any one or other backup mode is having some disadvantage. So Oracle thought, why can't I have a backup strategy which doesn't have any disadvantages at all? And that is the reason in 8i onwards or Oracle version 8 onwards, it has introduced another backup mode which we call it as recovery manager, or shortly we call it as RMN. So about RMN and all we will see tomorrow. And anybody is having any queries? Okay, so then let us meet tomorrow at the same time, and we will discuss about RMN and all. So thank you everyone for joining the call, and have a nice time.